Today, unboxing and reviewing the U-Turn Orbit Special Turntable. Does it live up to the hype? Stay tuned. You and I will find out. Coming up next. Hi, my name is Frank. Welcome back to Sundays on channel 33 RPM, your channel for vinyl, gear, and more. Last year, I reviewed the U-Turn Orbit Basic Turntable, and I dug it. It is a great starter turntable, or a secondary turntable for people who are kind of into the hobby already. I also like the fact that it was highly upgradable. Now, recently, the fine folks at U-Turn Audio reached out to me and asked me if I would be willing to check out and review their top-of-the-line Orbit Special Turntable. Of course, I jumped at the opportunity. This turntable has been hyped over the years. I've read a lot of things about it, so I was curious to check it out myself. Of course, my views, as always, are my own. So in the first half of this video, we're going to unbox this turntable and we're going to set it up. In the second half of the video, I'm going to delve into some of the specs and give my full review on this particular deck. So with all that out of the way, let's dive into it. U-Turn Audio is based near Boston, Massachusetts, and their products are assembled in the USA. The company has three lines of turntables. There's the entry-level Orbit Basic, which starts at $179. Then there's the mid-range Orbit Plus, which starts at $289. And then there's the $459 Orbit Special, which I am reviewing today. All these models are fully manual. The Orbit Special comes stock with the ever-popular Ortofon 2M red cartridge, a Q lever, and an acrylic platter. It also comes with a solid hardwood plinth, or base, made from either maple or walnut. This is a unique selling point. Most turntables in this range are made from MDF, or medium density fiberboard, which is an engineered wood product. A solid hardwood plinth in the under 500 turntable category is unique indeed, and the look is striking, as we will hopefully see coming up. U-Turn lists the turntable's wow and flutter at a respectable 0.125%. Now, let's take a closer look.
Channel 33 RPM.
Okay, here we go. Getting new gear, as you know, is always super fun. So I love new gear days. So let's crack this package open. I gotta say, it came really quick from the USA to here in Canada. No complaints at all about shipping time. There we go. Comes with the card, essentially thanking you for your purchase, and with contact information. From everything I've heard, these guys have really good customer service. Aha, here we go. So the first thing we're pulling out, how should I do this? You know what, let's unpack it and then I'll kind of show you, but this is the acrylic platter, which I love. Here we have the instruction manual. Here we have the power source. Aha, here we have the dust cover. Carefully place that there. And my gosh, this turntable does look gorgeous. Let's carefully take that out of the box. So these things are not overly difficult to put together. And the beauty with U-Turn Orbit products is that they set up as much as they can in the factory. So typically the cartridge is pre-aligned, the tone arm is pre-balanced, that sort of stuff. So the first thing I'm noticing is that it's pretty lightweight, but the solid wood plinth is really nice. We have the on-off switch. There is an electrical cord going from there to the, this is the motor here. We have here the audio RCA jacks, and this has, this particular model has the built-in preamp. So you can order U-Turn turntables with the preamp or without the preamp. The benefit of having the preamp is that it's more versatile. You can hook it up to more receivers. If you don't have a preamp, you will need a preamp. So most receivers made prior to 1990 have phono inputs. That means it has a built-in phono stage. That means you can plug your turntable directly into there and it will amplify it. If you don't have that, you will have to get an external preamp. The reason you do that is because the output signal from the turntable is low. It's lower than, say, a CD player or a cassette deck. So you need something to give that extra boost so that your receiver can properly amplify it. Now here's the motor, here's the spindle. These are decoupled. That means they're not directly connected. And the benefit of that is that if you isolate the motor, you reduce motor noise interference, which helps improve sound quality. At least in theory, dear 33ers. So let's open this up. I love acrylic platters and I highly, highly recommend them. We have here the power source. We'll give this one a quick open. There we go. So that is super easy. So the belt, I don't know why I find this part tricky of all things, but I do. There we go. And that is really all there is to it. So there's two levels here on the motor spindle. We have the top one and the bottom one. Basically you have to switch this. If you want to switch from 33 to 45, you have to physically and manually move the belt to the other area there. Let's put the dust cover on here, or the lid. This easily goes on to here. This tends to, well, for me anyway, come off quite easily, so just be a little bit careful when you open and close it up. This is basically set up. What I'm going to do now is hook it up to my stereo system. I'm going to live with the turntable for maybe a week or two. Then, as I said in the beginning of this video, I'm going to come back and give a full review. So stick around for that, and like, for you guys, it's gonna be a microsecond. All right, dear 33ers, I have now lived and played with this turntable for the past 3 weeks or so. You can see it set up there behind me. I'm here to talk to you about the pros and the cons of this turntable. And trust me, there are far more pros than there are cons. First of all, this unit is essentially ready to go out of the box. The tone arm was balanced, the cartridge was aligned, and I did not have to fuss with the tracking force. This is also a beautiful turntable. The wood looks great, but beyond that, it is a solid performer. The specs list a wow and flutter of 0.125, which is very decent. Of course, I had to do some of my own tests. I used the Speed and Wow app on my phone, and for what it's worth, using that app, I ran a series of tests and came up with wow readings of between 0.07 and 0.11, somewhat better than the specs that were advertised. Let's talk about the cartridge and the stylus. The Orbit Special comes with the Ortofon 2M Red, a workhorse, very common in the vinyl community. Many of us are familiar with that, and it's a fine cartridge, and it sounded decent enough through my Marantz PM6004 integrated amp. All that said, I would recommend upgrading to the Ortofon 2M Blue. The Blue has greater separation and detail, and it is worth the additional cost. Let's take a closer look at some more of the hardware on this turntable. The stock tone arm lever felt more heavy duty than what you would typically get in this price range. The acrylic platter is also fantastic. Not only does it look good, it helps control static, at least in my experience. The preamp was a nice addition. It was a nice add-on, and it was good for people who do not have a separate preamp or are going directly into powered speakers. Personally, I preferred the sound of the turntable going directly into my Marantz. The preamp in the Marantz sounded a bit warmer, but again, having a built-in preamp is a nice feature to have in a turntable. All right, let's talk about some of the cons now. I need to draw your attention to the tone arm counterweight. It's not as friendly as the tone arm counterweights found on other turntables. You have to undo a screw and then you kind of move it around. It's not a big deal necessarily, but it is worth mentioning. Finally, the turntable belt. It can be a bit tricky to get on, and if you're clumsy like me, you can kind of move it around and potentially knock it off when you're putting records on and off the turntable. Finally, the dust cover has a tendency to fall down, so make sure when you're putting it up, you lift it up as far as it can go. If you do that, it will stay there. All right, let's talk about the bottom line. The field is getting pretty crowded with turntables that sell in the $500 or less range. In face of that competition, the Orbit Special definitely holds its own. It offers performance, sound quality, and exceptional good looks at a reasonable cost. This is not a turntable you want to hide on a shelf. You want to display it proudly as a centerpiece in your music setup. The bottom line, this turntable offers excellent performance for music fans who don't want to fuss with all the setup details and worry about things like tracking force. This is as close as you can get to an audiophile quality turntable in a plug and play format. Overall, I really dig this turntable and I plan to continue to use it on a regular basis. All right, 33ers, let me know what you thought of today's video. Have you tried this turntable? Do you own one of these? What do you think? Let us know in the comments below. If you dug this video, please leave a quick thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed yet, what the heck are you waiting for? Dear 33ers, I hope each and every one of you has a fantastic week. Until next time, keep on spinning.